Imagine two countries arguing, but instead of using words they use economic weapons. These economic weapons are called tariffs. Tariffs are essentially taxes imposed on imported goods. When a country imposes tariffs, it makes foreign goods more expensive, encouraging consumers to buy local products instead. A trade war happens when countries retaliate by continuously raising tariffs on each other's goods. This back-and-forth escalation can lead to severe economic consequences. It's like a game of chicken, but with economies. Each country hopes the other will back down first. However, in this game, nobody truly wins. Businesses suffer from increased costs, and consumers face higher prices and fewer choices. Trade wars can start for various reasons. Sometimes they begin because a country wants to protect its local industries from foreign competition. For instance, a country might impose tariffs on imported steel to support its domestic steel industry, ensuring local jobs and businesses are safeguarded. Other times, trade wars are sparked by accusations of unfair trade practices. This could include things like dumping, where a country exports goods at a price lower than its market value to undermine local industries. Whatever the reason, the impact of a trade war is far-reaching. It hurts businesses that rely on imported materials, disrupts supply chains, and ultimately consumers bear the brunt with higher prices and limited product availability. In the global economy, trade wars can also strain international relations and lead to long-term economic instability. Countries may seek new trade partners, altering the global trade landscape. Understanding trade wars is crucial because they affect everyone, from large corporations to small businesses and everyday consumers. By recognizing the signs and implications, we can better navigate the complexities of global trade. Picture this. Country A thinks Country B is being unfair. Maybe they're subsidizing their industries or dumping cheap goods into the market, making it hard for Country A's businesses to compete. This creates a lot of tension and frustration. To counter this, Country A decides to impose tariffs on Country B's products. Tariffs are essentially taxes on imports, making those foreign goods more expensive. The goal here is to level the playing field for domestic industries. So Country A's government enacts these tariffs, hoping to protect its own industries and workers. They believe that by making imported goods more expensive, consumers will turn to locally made products instead. However, this move has immediate consequences. Consumers in Country A now face higher prices for goods that were previously affordable. Everyday items become more expensive, and this can lead to dissatisfaction among the public. The idea behind tariffs is to encourage people to buy local, supporting domestic businesses and preserving jobs, but the reality is often more complex. Local industries might not be able to meet the demand or offer the same variety and quality as foreign competitors. Meanwhile, Country B is not going to take this lying down. They see the tariffs as an aggressive move and decide to retaliate. They impose their own tariffs on goods coming from Country A, escalating the situation further. This back and forth can quickly spiral out of control, leading to a full-blown trade war. Both countries suffer as a result, with economic growth slowing down, businesses struggling, and consumers bearing the brunt of higher prices. In the end, what started as a measure to protect domestic interests can ignite a conflict that harms everyone involved. Once the first shot is fired, things can quickly escalate. Country B, feeling the pinch from Country A's tariffs, strikes back. They target goods that will hurt Country A's economy or key industries. This tit-for-tat exchange of tariffs creates a ripple effect. Businesses on both sides start to suffer. They face higher costs, reduced profits, and uncertainty. This uncertainty makes them hesitant to invest and expand, further hurting economic growth. A recent example of a trade war is the one between the U.S. and China, which began in 2018. The U.S. imposed tariffs on billions of dollars worth of Chinese goods. China retaliated with tariffs on U.S. products. This trade war lasted for over 2 years. It disrupted global supply chains, hurt businesses, and cost consumers billions of dollars. It also highlighted the interconnectedness of the global economy. Section 5, Echoes of the Past, the Smoot-Hawley Tariff Act. The Smoot-Hawley Tariff Act of 1930 is a stark reminder of how badly trade wars can go. This U.S. law raised tariffs on over 20,000 imported goods. It was meant to protect American jobs during the Great Depression. However, it backfired spectacularly. Other countries retaliated with their own tariffs. Global trade plummeted, the Great Depression worsened, and it took years for the world to recover. Section 6. The ripple effect, impact on industries and supply chains. Trade wars don't just affect the countries directly involved. They create ripples that spread throughout the global economy. Industries that rely on imported goods face higher costs. This can lead to job losses and factory closures. Supply chains, the intricate networks that bring products to consumers, get disrupted. Businesses struggle to find alternative suppliers or face delays and higher costs. This uncertainty stifles investment and innovation. Section 7. The price we pay, consumers and workers caught in the crossfire. While governments fight their trade battles, it's often consumers and workers who bear the brunt. These trade wars, often initiated with the intention of protecting domestic industries, can have far-reaching consequences that ripple through the economy. The immediate impact is felt by the average consumer and the everyday worker, who find themselves caught in the crossfire of these economic skirmishes. Tariffs lead to higher prices for everyday goods, from clothes and electronics to food and cars. When tariffs are imposed on imported goods, the cost of these goods rises, and this increase is often passed on to consumers. This means that the price tags on items we use daily, such as clothing, electronics, and even groceries, can see a significant hike. This reduces consumer purchasing power. When prices go up, the amount of goods and services that consumers can afford to buy with their income decreases. This reduction in purchasing power can lead to a decrease in overall consumer spending, which is a critical component of economic growth. Workers in industries hit by retaliatory tariffs can lose their jobs. When other countries retaliate with their own tariffs, industries that rely on exports can suffer. Factories may see a drop in demand for their products, leading to reduced production and ultimately, layoffs. Businesses may be forced to lay off workers or even close down. Small and medium-sized enterprises in particular may struggle to absorb the increased costs and reduced demand, leading to closures and job losses. Trade wars create economic uncertainty, making people hesitant to spend and invest. The uncertainty generated by ongoing trade disputes can lead to a lack of confidence among consumers and investors. People may choose to save rather than spend, and businesses may delay or cancel investment plans, further slowing economic growth. In the end, the intended protective measures can backfire, causing more harm than good to the very economy they were meant to protect. Section 8. Seeking resolutions, diplomacy, and trade agreements. So how do we stop these trade wars? The answer lies in diplomacy and cooperation. Countries need to communicate, negotiate, and find common ground. Trade agreements, like the World Trade Organization, provide a platform for resolving disputes. These agreements establish rules for international trade and provide mechanisms for resolving conflicts peacefully. Through dialogue and compromise, countries can avoid the destructive cycle of trade wars. Section 9. Trade wars, a lose-lose situation in a globalized world. In our interconnected world, trade wars are a lose-lose situation. They hurt everyone involved, businesses, consumers, and the global economy. They disrupt supply chains, stifle innovation, and lead to higher prices. The best way to avoid trade wars is through open communication, cooperation, and a commitment to fair trade practices. By working together, we can create a more stable and prosperous global economy for everyone.